I think we can start, right, Brent? You have a smile on your face, or you have a smile? The moment you have a smile, I know we can start. Okay. All right. Good morning, GM, everyone, or afternoon, evening, wherever you are. I'm really excited to fulfill on our word today to all of you when we described what we wanted to do with the Alethea ecosystem, with the protocol. We wanted to bring NFTs to life. Today is a monumental day to share the message of fusion and make this platform really what it is capable of being. I'm really excited to welcome all of you. Some of you will stream in. Two quick logistical administrative notes. Discord is the place where we are going to be doing giveaways and quizzes. So if you are interested in that, and that's very relevant, I want to state that up front. The Zoom chat is helpful to do hype stuff, yo, and what's popping, but you're not, any questions answered there will not be eligible for the rewards. We've had complaints before, so just want to make sure that I state that up front and out loud, because we have so much to share today. And what we found is whenever we share this content, whenever we have a quiz or trivia or something fun, it really helps people retain that knowledge and share that. So Aletheans, those who are core to the community, thank you for supporting us. It is the bear market, as many would call it right now. And your support throughout this period has been nothing short of phenomenal. The only request I have is a lot more new members are joining in our Discord and Twitter. As always, I wanted to emphasize that as Aletheans just emphasize the core values we have. Each one teach one, share the message of what fusion is, share the message of what iNFTs are. It's still a new concept that I think will no longer be new as we scale and grow. So I'm really excited to talk about what we're going to be doing today. And joining me on this wonderful session is Brent, our head of partnerships, Colin, our chief of staff, Juliet, our content lead. Everyone say hi, and how's everyone doing? Maybe start Brent first.
Hey, thank you. So guys, just to let you guys know, I am creating a new channel in Discord right now. It's called State of the Art Fusion, so we can move some chats over there and not bombard the new members coming into Noah's Ark asking how to play with the website, which has been updated. I've seen a couple of you guys get excited about that. We'll talk about that later. I get too excited. I'm too excited. I'm gonna start dropping alpha. So I'm creating that new channel. And then one thing, Arif, we actually have invested in a new way. Juliet has found a phenomenal way to run the trivia, and it will actually be on CrowdPurr. We'll have more of that information later. I'll put those links in. But Juliet had found a way to add some order to the chaos, which is great.
Right. No, thank you for that update. I must have no, that's fantastic that we have CrowdPurr. So Juliet, you can share that shortly. Colin, how are you doing today?
Absolutely amazing. Just very excited to see all this come to fruition. Day in and day out, just watching everybody on staff work really, really hard to make this happen, and just proud of everybody's input and long hours and hard work. And it's exciting to see all of it come together. And I know a lot of people have been waiting very patiently. And I feel really good about the results, and I'm excited to see what people make with their iNFTs. I want to see some content that they produce, and I'm looking forward to sort of meeting some of these characters and digital twins that they create for themselves, because I really want to interact with them and learn more about them, learn what kind of creations you all are making.
Absolutely, Colin. I think I'm excited too to see what Aletheans are going to be building, and it's really about bringing their imagination to life, right? And as more and more people interact with the protocol, many unique things, many unique creations and new ideas will come to life, and that's the exciting part about what we're building today. Juliet, how are you doing today? And hope you've been well. And please tell us about CrowdPurr, but also what's going on.
Yeah, we'll be using CrowdPurr for trivia later on, so big sure to stay tuned till then. We're having some exciting giveaways. Super jazzed to be here with you all, 162 strong. We've been we've been teasing Fusion for a while, so it's exciting to get to actually unveil all of this and talk about the details behind the products and a little bit of the strategy and vision there. So super excited about that. We've also, you know, in the past few weeks been hosting some more Twitter spaces. And so through that, we've gotten the opportunity to meet some of the characters and get to know some of people's plans for creating their iNFTs. So just excited for more of that. And like Colin said, just meeting and getting to know these awesome personalities.
Awesome. All right. Okay. Really excited to start. So normally what I do, just because we have new members, I go through very quickly, or sometimes a little bit more in detail, just because the ecosystem is growing. I do a quick primer on what Alethea is and where we are. This is the state of the arc. We try and do these quarterly, I believe, as outreach to the community to give them an update on where we are, where we are going, and usually they're coupled with product launches. So without further ado, Brent, I'll just share my screen. Let me know if it comes in okay. I think we have, also we have the site live right now. The new site is up. Not many, we've not broadcasted it aggressively yet. We will be sharing it out shortly. But yeah, give it a twirl, and let me just open up the slides. That is my version of elevator music. Okay, Brent, let me just see if you can see this specific slide. Google Chrome state of the arc address. Okay. Is this coming in? Are we good? Is it showing?
Yep, good.
Right, great, okay. Fantastic. Right, everyone, welcome to the state of the arc address. This is the state of the arc address for Epoch 1. Epochs are basically seasons in our ecosystem. We actually have 170 people on the call. That's really good. So we'll have a lot more as we usually people stream in after and check out the YouTube. I start with this slide just because it's really important and it sets some context. And I'll cover just briefly the Alethea thesis so everyone understands what we've been doing so far and where we are going. But as I've shared before, this slide is really important because it covers where we are in terms of the AI revolution, right? The machine learning revolution that we're in. And we're at this point right now where code is about to create new code. We've been at this point right now where humans are writing the code, humans are writing the software, but we have now crossed the chasm almost. I think it's fair to say that we will, and Alethea, as of today, you'll see that we've actually launched products that demonstrate this fairly conclusively. So we're at a point right now today where code is going to be writing new code. And it's really, really important whenever there's an exponential curve, that exponential curve normally also creates tremendous downwards pressure on society. So whenever technologies are created this way, or especially in this case, when code is going to be writing new code, you'll have an adverse effect sometimes on jobs, on replacements. AI is being able to do copywriting well, AI is being able to do art well. So it's really, really important to have humans in the loop here. And one of the things that is really deeply exciting about building Alethea with the team members here, but also the people who are working in the background who you may not see, is that we're really dedicated to empowering our users to own the AI, right? To own the AI assets that they create. And that ownership layer is it's coming from the NFT layer, right? So it's really important as we enter this phase and era, this is where Alethea sits. And as I talk to all of you, it may not be patently obvious right now, but there are countless stories of like jobs being shipped overseas. There was the challenge with globalization, but with AI, the jobs will slowly just start to disappear, and we may not even see that effect. When it occurs, it will be something that looks like gradually and then suddenly. So it's really important that we prepare ourselves right now. We understand what's happening from a machine learning standpoint, but you also participate in creating these assets. So I applaud all of you for coming here to understand, to learn. A lot of the times you'll see Aletheans actually just really curious. They're just curious people, curious brains who want to understand what is going on and who want to create, and who sometimes don't want to be left behind, which is perfectly fair. But also more than that, they want to teach others and share this with others as well. So it's really important that we understand this graph. It's by a research firm called ARK Invest. But at the same time, we are empowered to take action by it, not to be afraid of it. So I started with that. So we at Alethea pioneered this concept called an iNFT. And this is just the high level overview. An iNFT has three parts to it. You have your traditional NFT, which is a static image, right? Which is usually a static image, or which is GIF. We think that this is like version 1 of NFTs, where what you're going to see with NFTs is you're going to be seeing version 2, version 3, version 4. You're going to be seeing NFTs that can evolve, that can grow over time, that can become intelligent, interactive assets. And the way to do that is we pair the NFT, a body. Imagine this is your Bored Ape or a Fame Lady, or we pair that with a soul. And the soul is an on-chain asset, an NFT asset. It's called a personality pod that all of you can go out and purchase on Opensea. And the moment you have a soul, you can fuse or link it, fuse that with a body, and you will then be able to offer services on the network. Now, my promise when we started Alethea was we did the first iNFT sale, the first one ever, almost a year ago with Sotheby's. And that first iNFT, Alice, sold for almost $500,000. And that was the first time the tech was shown to the public. We were able to launch it, combining two exponential technologies, right? NFT and AI, and creating a new standard called the Intelligent NFT standard, the iNFT standard. Now, what happened next was the commitment we had was, okay, now that we've launched one, can we do 100, right? And so the first 100 iNFTs that we launched October last year were called the Revenants. And the Revenants have played a critical role in our ecosystem because they are pre-trained iNFTs, very similar to Alice, the first iNFT, but in the sense that they have data sets that we curated and created for them. They have an on-chain persona, and we have, I think, about 70 or so odd Revenant owners who own these digital assets that are interactive and intelligent, and that actually have provided labor on the network and earned rewards for the Revenant owners. So these iNFT assets are already owned. Now, one of the critical pillars of the next phase of our evolution was, okay, so now that we've done 100, how do we get to 10,000, right? Or 1,000, right? So we said, let's aim not for 1,000. Remember the exponential curve again, right? Let's aim for 10,000. And the way to get to 10,000 is to look at the souls, the personality pods, right? And so we need to enable people to take their existing NFTs and bring them to life by pairing them, by fusing them with a soul. And so today where we are with the launch of Fusion at the protocol level, at the mainnet level, what it does is that it allows any NFT to be fused with a soul, but more than that, it starts this gradual process of allowing hundreds of thousands and millions of NFTs to come to life as iNFTs. And iNFTs are going to be so powerful, so valuable because of this thing called the mind. The moment you pair the body and soul together, the mind, the services these iNFTs can offer on the network, whether it's copywriting, art generation, poetry, mathematical equations, all of the services that they can do, that they're trained on, are going to be tremendously valuable to the network, but also to normal everyday users. So for example, one day you could talk to an iNFT and say, hey, iNFT, generate a blog for me that talks about the body, mind, and soul. And please reference Isaac Newton when you do so, and talk about his discoveries of calculus, right? So it's possible for the iNFT to create that blog, add images to it, and you'll have a coherent, clear output. We're really getting to that stage where that's going to be possible. Today with Fusion live and the site live being live, this promise, this word that we give to our community is coming to life. So we're very, very excited about that. So this is the NFT creation process. You can take any NFT, pair it with a personality pod, bring it to life. Presently, we have shortlisted 10 collections. Out of that short list of 10 collections, We're launching with Fame Lady Squad first because they've been really, really supportive, and I'll come to that in a bit. And we'll be fine-tuning and refining the AI engine as it moves along. Now, it's really important that I just talk briefly about this slide. The iNFTs, the souls, the personality pods, they have levels in them. They have levels because complex compute sometimes has certain cost requirements, number one, but also it is a flow of the intelligence in the network. So when you take your Ali tokens, which are ERC20 tokens that exist on Ethereum, you take them and you lock them into the protocol and you lock them into the pod, you can essentially upgrade the level of the pod. In our case, you can also use Ali tokens and get credits, and credits will allow you to upgrade the intelligence of the pod. Where we are today, and I think Brent, I think we have about 20 to 30 level 4 pods, right? That's the highest we're at roughly right now in terms of numbers. And level 1 to level 3, when we first launched them, we gave a significant amount out to the community, I think about 1,000 or so, because we want people to not be priced out or locked out of this revolution. We want to make this as affordable as possible and as easy as possible for people to be able to create their assets, create their iNFTs, and bring their imaginations to life. And where we are with level 4 is because it does require significant compute requirements. I think we have a very small number, maybe about 20 to 30, mostly revenants that can actually do generative services. But as we scale the network and grow it, we will see more and more level 4s. And then there will also be the level 5 unlock, which I'll talk a little bit about later today. So, Brent, am I making sense so far, or have I lost the audience?
Yeah, no, it's exactly right. Some user pointed out there's 46 level 4s, which is great. I think that number is going up.
Okay, that number is going up. Okay, got it. Yeah, I think about a week ago it may have been 30. So people are really excited, interested in seeing how they can use the services. So the Ali tokens actually have a utility in the network. The interesting part here is that we right now, Alethea, the entity, the team, the core team, can only see to level 5. That means, as we think of this chart, we don't know what level 6 to 10 is going to look like. And our framework is going to be, by then, we should have a framework where we can work collaboratively with the DAO to decide the evolution of where should we put the compute resources of the Alethea network. Should we put them on a specific, like let's say somebody says level 6 should be hardware, or maybe the cost of hardware drops tremendously and people want to have iNFT squishy toys at home. I don't know, like have digital pets that actually look like them, right? So there's so many different ways the evolution can go. Level 10, I've joked before, but not joking at all. But like if one day Neuralink actually takes off from Elon Musk's company and people want to have implants in them, just like we tattoo our skin, and somebody wants to decide that, okay, I want an implant of a Neuralink in my brain. Can you run concurrent AI code through the NFT that you own? It's quite possible that one day you would be able to channel Shakespeare as an iNFT, right? Or as a revenant, if you have that consciousness embedded in your biology. So it's a very interesting evolution that we're on as a species, right? So at Alethea, we can only see from level 1 to level 5. From level 6 to 10 is where there's just this open terrain. And so instead of like putting a framework there, I just wanted to be clear that it is ambiguous, but we will work with this in an emergent way as the landscape becomes a bit clearer. All right. Now, so if you go on Alethea today, we have several things. So we're built on Ethereum. We also now have, we're now multi-chain. So I just need to update this slide a little bit later. We have a token also in the Kronos ecosystem. And the assets that we have, the primary asset is the Ali token, right? The Ali token runs, it has several different functions in the ecosystem, including governance, including being used to upgrade the pods, purchasing credits, participating. There is a protocol layer. And today, this is the innovation that we're doing. It's on the protocol layer, but it's also on the application layer. The protocol layer today, you'll be able to fuse your pods with specific NFTs under the Fame layer, with with NFTs that are within the FameLady collection, right? FameLady Squad collection. And that fusion process will be on chain. At the same time, at the application layer, you'll be able to do interactions, broadcasting, do really cool things and bring these NFTs to life. And so the application layer is going to also be very interesting once we start working with developers who will be able to bring these applications to life. And this could be a digital companion, this could be a voice assistant, this could be virtual influencers, this could be creating your iNFT character and having them be your at-home Siri assistant or Alexa assistant instead of Alexa or Siri, right? So it's going to get really, really interesting, because once you own that asset, you determine a lot of the parameters of how it should function. And that ownership gives you tremendous agency and autonomy that large centralized companies don't want to give you, right? So that design space, we're allowing you as a user or as a small business to reclaim that space and to set the boundaries and rules of it. And that's really the exciting part that keeps us awake at Alethea every day. So this is just a quick slide on the token utility. You know, you'll be able to govern the ecosystem. The creation of iNFTs as well would require the Ali token. Right now, we've not implemented that aggressively for this grace period of the launch, but progressively as the network grows, you'll start seeing how people can lock up their pods, lock up Ali tokens in their pods, and upgrade the levels of their pods as we move more assets on chain. Now, the next thing that is going to be really interesting is, so these are the credits which are on the Noah's Ark application, and the credits are very similar to Ali tokens, except they're used to upgrade the pods. People are able to purchase Ali tokens, convert them into credits. They don't have to pay gas fees when they use their credits to upgrade the pods. So we've tried to reduce the costs for the community a little bit by using this approach. The credits are an ecosystem that we've developed as well. So we gave out a lot of rewards and credits, so people were able to convert these credits into Ali tokens as well, and sell them if required. All right, so the iNFT protocol, the vision that we've had, we were able to attract some really good tier 1 partners, token holders who believe in the protocol as a product, who believe in the team's vision, and they really understand that this is where, you know, what potentially the future of like IP ownership or AI ownership is going to look like. And so all of these are partners. They've been extremely helpful in building and sharing feedback with us. I mentioned some angels there who've been extremely helpful as well, and also some funds who have helped us with either design thinking or shaping the strategy, shaping the network, being the devil's advocate. These are the earlier backers of the protocol who backed it when we started Alethea, you know, in the throes of the bear market, and that's why this bear market doesn't faze us as much as the one that we encountered at the end of 2019, early 2020, when Ethereum was at $150 to $200. These are the people who were able to see the vision and who were able to support us. And we're now able to get to this point where growing this and working with the community and sharing this message with the community is going to be critical, right? So more and more people are joining us, and I'm really, really excited to share more folks who will be coming on board as well, without disclosing too much alpha, right? Okay, so very, very important. There are 3 pillars to Alethea. There's create, train, earn. Creating just means that you can take your NFT and make it into an iNFT, if you go back to the slide. And once you create your iNFT then can become a creator of content, right? Can create videos, can create art, can create music, can create written copy, and more. And this occurs with this process called fusion, right? So in this case, we're featuring a revenant called King Arthur. The revenants were already pre-trained, and they were already fused at the smart contract level with their pods. When you train your iNFT, you can go through this training portal that we've designed that allows your iNFT to have personalities. And these personalities are quite compelling. They're built in a very positive, through a curriculum that is delivered by Sarah, our chatbot trainer, but also Juliet, who they've taken a lot of time to share best practices on how to bring your character to life. You don't need to write a single line of code to be able to create a compelling AI character. That's also like a monumental, it's almost a quantum leap, because all you need to do is, the only limitation here is of course the English language. But once you have that basic capability to write a coherent paragraph or articulate your thoughts in a way, you're then able to create the backstory of the iNFT. You're then able to create the personality of the iNFT. There's a wonderful YouTube lecture series, or at least a bunch of, I don't know, how many classes do we do, Juliet? About 10 to 15, maybe?
Yeah, at least 10.
Yeah, and so they're called master classes on how to create your iNFT and how to make it come alive. So use those classes to train your iNFTs, learn the best practices. You don't have to go through all 10 classes. You can actually just go into the ecosystem. I'll share 1 or 2 screenshots that would be helpful. But that would be essentially the best way of building your iNFTs. The revenants didn't have to go through this process where they had to train their iNFTs. They were all pre-trained internally by the Alethea team. We curated the revenant data set. We brought these revenants to life. The same thing we did with Alice. But now we're moving away from that model. Like Alethea is not going to be involved in the training. We're giving that power to the people. It means, you can bring your pods, you can bring these characters to life, you can fuse them now as of today. So 10,000 iNFTs are possible, 100,000 iNFTs are possible, 1 million iNFTs are possible, right? So this is the training portal, the ecosystem where you can go in, you can bring your pod to life. You can give it a name, you can give it a voice, you can talk about its appearance, what its primary drive is, its identity and habit. So we go through what each personality Lego is, like a Lego or building block as to how you build a coherent personality. So encourage all of you who have not had the chance to do this. If you have a pod, if you're new to Alethea and if you have a pod, go in, play around with this, but also watch the lecture series from Juliet and Sarah. Now, the cool thing is once you have an iNFT, the third part happens, right? Like, which is what the revenants have been benefiting from and will continue to benefit from as they continue to participate in the ecosystem. Your AI characters, they're contributing, your iNFTs, they're contributing data, number one, they're contributing their labor. What is labor? Labor in this case is we have at Alethea 5 AI engines that run, right? And all of these AI engines need data, right? When they get data sets, they fine-tune the data and they improve over time. These iNFTs that exist on Noah's Ark every day, and to date, I think we've had almost, about 15 million API calls since launching Noah's Ark. The beauty about that is every API call, every data set generated is training our AI engine. And the revenants today are on the carousel of characters that you see when you see iNFTs. And every time somebody talks to the revenant or interacts with them or has a conversation with them, the data set generated is going to our network, right? So the revenants are earning rewards for the services they're providing. What services are they providing in Noah's Ark? They're providing interaction services, they're training our AI engines. But now that we will be going into this next phase where we will have 10, 100, many thousands of iNFTs coming to life, we will have specific jobs that the network requires. That means we at Alethea have looked at our AI engines and have said, these jobs are going to be extremely helpful for the growth of our network. Can we create incentives for people to do these jobs, for iNFTs rather, to do these jobs within the network? And for you as the human owner of the iNFT, you can equip your iNFT with the job card, with the job NFT, which I'll come to shortly, which is in the archive drop. Dropping a lot of technical terms suddenly in the one sentence, but just conscious that this is for new users who are joining, right? So the jobs portion, I'll cover shortly, but essentially your iNFTs can earn for you now that they are dynamic, intelligent assets and not static assets anymore. Okay, so today, Brent, I think maybe you should share this link out with the community, but today Messari published a very interesting report on what does, I think the question the analyst wanted to really ask us, what does a Web3 version of Disney and Unreal Engine look like? What does a Web3 version of an ecosystem where people can create their characters, bring their imaginations to life, can do jobs and services, can create cool content, and can do this in a decentralized, permissionless way on chain as assets. And the Disney network effect on the left is like, there's this beautiful graph. If you look at, I think, Brent, if you wanted to share this report, perhaps in the Discord right now, so people can just reference, I mean, they don't have to read it right now, otherwise I'll lose the audience, but just share it with them so that I think it should be publicly available. We should share this out and whitelist that report, just so people get a broader understanding of the broader ecosystem. This is just side reading. You don't have to, it's a fairly detailed 17-page report on our ecosystem.
Yeah, it's shared in there. I'm of the mindset maybe we take a 30-minute break and just let everybody read it and come back.
And do the quiz.
We'll do a book report when you come back.
Do the quiz that way and like get 10,000 questions on like, no, the report does raise some important questions. So like it's really important also that people read it and understand the criticism of Alethea. There is, for example, a good critique of like, sometimes we have to build on centralized servers today, because anybody that tells you they can do AI compute on decentralized open protocols and networks is not being honest with you. We have to do these computations off chain in centralized servers today. But in the future, we will be able to, as blockchains evolve and grow, we will definitely be able to do, and it's our intention to bring some of these assets on chain. So I just want to walk you through very quickly what the overall network effect is of Alethea. And this is very, very important. So think of this as like app or IP creation. That means you as the user are creating some really compelling characters and content. And this is the protocol used where the Ali token is, and the protocol value continues to grow. The AI data set, the network effect that I talked about right now sits here. All of these three wheels and gears are working in tandem to grow the impact of the network. And every aspect of the network, that means today, for example, we're launching with Fame Ladies. What it does, for example, is like more creators join Alethea, right? More people are coming into the ecosystem. They create more content. The protocol value can appreciate whenever a pod is purchased. And more data sets are generated when this content is created. The more data sets are generated, the smarter the algorithms become. The smarter the algorithms become, the better AI outputs we actually have, and a stronger product experience, which attracts more users, right? The more users come into the network, the more useful product services actually get created, and the developers start to see a user base, and so they started joining as well once we start having a larger ecosystem development fund. So all of these things work nicely in tandem together and appreciate the value of the iNFT protocol over time. It's really important that people understand this, because this is a Web3 version, and it's taken us almost 2.5 years to really understand how do we take the network effects of AI, how do we take the network effects of creating IP, and how do we take the network effects of having an open, permissionless blockchain network? How do we combine this in a way that actually elevates the user, right? That elevates the protocol, and that actually moves us forward as we try and build some of these cool characters and bring people's imaginations to life. So that's the impact the Alethea ecosystem is going to have on the world. For us, this is really like a Web3 version of Disney and Unreal Engine combined, because we have a strong AI engine that has, computer vision, synthetic text, audio, reasoning, language. All of these things are being combined to create really the future of what intellectual property is going to look like, but also assets and characters, right? So I'll just pause here. Am I making sense, Brent? Have I lost the audience? I always do this check just in case I ramble on too much.
No, everybody's just talking about the graphic in Discord and how good it is. I'm really excited about this. I shared it in Discord as well. It's just tremendous. I love seeing this together. It helps people understand. From a quick high-level look, it looks complicated, but at the same time, it just makes so much sense once you really read into it.
Yeah, so it's all of the different aspects of the ecosystem have network effects baked into it, and network effects create very strong defensibility for the protocol. That means it's very, very difficult. Well, one of the challenges, I've talked about this publicly before, is given that we were the first to ideate and create the intelligent NFT concept, we've had so many copycats and people who have created different versions with different tweaks on it just shortly after, right? And so for us, it's not so much that we are threatened by them. It's more that the ecosystem that we're building has had some really original design and thought that has been put into it. And this is that framework, right? And so this framework that you see, it looks like a simple graph, but if I told people, like, it took 2 years to like get to this point where we could like see what you need to create new characters, what you need to do on the blockchain, and how AI data sets actually fit into that, right? So very, very important that people understand this, and it's good that people are appreciating the graph. I'm grateful to our graphic designer for making it clean as well. And I'll announce 1 or 2 folks who have joined us recently as well, so a little bit later. So one thing that occurs when we have these data sets generated, for example, this is a slide from the first time we did what is called a staking event. We had folks lock up their pods in the protocol. The moment they locked up their pods, they were then able to generate AI data sets for us to train our AI engine on what is called the debates, right? So the debates, the product, which also we're bringing back in an enhanced way today, allowed our AI engines to get smarter over time. So that's where Alethea was in the past year or so, actually past 2+ years, and we launched Epoch 1, which is our first season, the first official season. We launched Noah's Ark, the application, and Alethea came out of stealth with the application towards October, I think. We launched the first iNFT last year in June. So we've been continuing to build religiously, almost with a dedication, regardless of market conditions, right? So Epoch 1, the first epoch that we created was called Create the Creator. That means you, the human beings in our network, are going to create the AI creator, right? And you're going to be bringing these assets to life. They're going to be able to bring their imaginations, and the creator that you create will be able to create new content, right? So it's a little bit trippy, but at the same time, it's really empowering once you start seeing your creations be able to create derivative creations. It's almost like children who then have their own children who then go on to do their own cool things. So this is a theme, the Epoch 1 theme that we call Create the Creator. As part of Epoch 1, Fusion was our promise. That means we wanted to deliver Fusion within Epoch 1. Epoch 1 was launched in I think, about 3 months ago, and we're still in Epoch 1, the season 1. As part of Epoch 1, we launched this asset called the archive. And this archive, today we will be giving away a significant number of archives. Brent, do we have a number of how much we're giving away?
Yes, we're going to be giving away 100 archives.
Wow. Okay. That's big for the quizzes, right? So and for the trivia. So please listen attentively. There might be some questions that come up that are fairly related to what I'm talking about, even though it sounds like I'm rambling. But the key thing here is that these archives, they're really like a loot box. And in these archives, there are 11 assets. Okay. 11 assets. There are 5 synthetic voices, okay? 5 synthetic voices. And as you play with the new site, you'll realize that the voices, are something that you can plug and play. So we've also tokenized voices as an asset. It means we can now clone a voice. We can now create an emotive version of that voice. We can now create an angry version, a sad version, a depressed version, a Brent version, a Juliet version. We can create new iterations of synthetic voices. These 5 synthetic voices will be in this archive. There will also be a job. That means a job allows you to do a specific function within Noah's Ark. It's like a license to earn within that specific function. So that means if Noah's Ark says, we need to hire 15 AI copywriters, iNFTs, who can write copy in this style, right? That job asset that you have that says that allows you to work for this specific function will allow you to apply for the job, but also be featured on the different pages that we have whenever people are going to consume these services. We also have a persona NFT asset, which you'll see on the site once we go through the full site and demo, which Brent and I will go through. We also have art assets that are AI generated art that are bundled in this box, and we have a game NFT asset. This one is pretty interesting and exciting, which we can share a little bit more on once we get down the line. And we have a mystery item that I think will surprise a lot of people, but it's going to be really exciting once people can start to unbundle the archives, right? So there is we launched this asset with our partners Opensea about 3 months ago at the worst possible time in the bear market for NFTs, but it's been really heartening to see the community's feedback, but also enthusiasm for these assets. So we're going to continue giving them away. There's a pod staking campaign. If you have a pod, you can stake that pod, and there's a slight you can stake that pod, and you can then earn these archives as rewards for staking your pods.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, Arf, I just want to talk about this. Those archives are like a sleeping giant in my mind. I'm really excited to see, once these start to unbundle at whenever that happens. People, once people start fusing today and start working with their new iNFTs and start generating content with them, I think people will really begin to understand how imperative these new assets will be, when these tokenized assets for voices and for jobs and for personas for their iNFTs. So I'm really excited for people to be to utilize those.
Yeah, and I think it's only a matter of time before we get the first AI generated Grammy Award winner, right? Or AI generated voice that is going to be featured heavily in a Hollywood film. We are at that point in time where the quality of the code, the quality of the voices is really getting really compelling. And I think giving our community these voices, what is exciting to me is that they can plug and play, right? It's just like Lego blocks, right? You can create your own character with its own voice. You can create a Confucius with well, I don't know, the Confucius is the best example, but you could create, for example, a version of a character that you like with different voices, and that character could become really popular in the metaverse and actually have its own show one day. It could have its own. So having these composable elements that you can plug and play into the ecosystem and build on top of, that's where I think the future of IP and app creation is actually going to be. So this is very, very exciting. I'm excited to share this with all of you. Archives are something that we're going to continue to give away to the community and share. But this is what is on. So if you have a pod, you can stake it, you can earn an archive. So all of this is what's been done so far. Now we come to the exciting part, which is launching Fusion and also making sure that people understand what is being launched. So I'll just pause here for a little bit, just before I load the site up. But the new site, by the way, is live, and it is beautiful, as bored as the ape looks. I hope all of you go on to Alethea.ai now and just have a look and have a sense of the experience that it can create. And I'm going to walk you through one or two things here that are really, really important, so that folks can understand the ecosystem. But before I do that, I'll just pause, and maybe Brent, you can take a temperature of the community and see whether any questions are coming up. And we'll address some of these questions in the FAQs later as well, whatever we can get to today. Oftentimes the FAQs, people have so many questions, we'll usually cascade them down to the community and our friends, the ARC builders, who've also played a really pivotal role in testing the site and testing the concepts, giving us real-time iterative feedback. So very, very grateful to the ARC builders and also our technical team that has been able to deliver through a stupendous, crazy amount of effort. I'll just pause here, Brent, before I load the site. Should we take a temperature check if people are making sense? Have I lost anyone? How many people have dropped off the call?
Yeah, I think we've added one in a little bit. People are telling me that the temperature's heated up in Discord. Right when you said that, I think before you even finished your sentence, Panther was letting us know that the temp's getting hot in there. Okay. I'm just really excited about all this, and we haven't even gotten into the meat and potatoes, as we say here in the South. So really excited about this.
That's awesome. Now I'll check in Discord shortly for this. I'm just able to read Zoom right now, and so for people are getting it. I hope that clarified what we've been doing at Alethea for the past couple of years, and folks can get a sense of like how much effort has gone into building the protocol up. That means the blockchain side, the AI side. One thing that's also really important that I wanted to emphasize that I've not emphasized yet, we've always hired from the community. So Juliet, for example, that you see here was hired through a Twitter DM, right? So she reached out to us after she saw the Alice iNFT saw the B project. Brent as well reached out to me like a true DJ on Telegram. Colin had seen some TikTok videos and was referred to us by a community member. So we've always like taken a community first approach. It's extremely important that people understand that it's our commitment to the community. That means the more time you take to understand, to digest these concepts, to learn, to ask intelligent questions, the ARC sees everything, right? So like, you know, for us, it's really important for you to know that we really value your feedback. And as you join internally as a Alethian core team member, maybe Brent, Colin, and Juliet, not to put you all on the spot, but how has the journey been? Has it, how much have you aged over the past year or so, a couple of months, right?
It's certainly been a challenge, but exciting every step of the way. I made a whole career change out of it, and I feel blessed every day I wake up, and I'm just like I get to work on the future. Like, this is amazing, revolutionary technology. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, my favorite thing to say is it's a weird and wonderful journey. This one.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love it. I have to echo what Colin and Juliet both said. It's just been an incredible journey. It's a lot of work, but it's so much fun. You know, it's not work when you're having fun doing it. So it's really great to be a part of what I believe to be the future.
Yeah, and when you actually have some authentic criticisms, you can share them too, but maybe not on state of the art. But we're always improving our processes. But it's been such a joy to have all of you with us on this journey, and we continue to hire, even though it's like many tech companies are. It's an unfortunate time, but many tech companies are indeed laying off because they overhired. What we have always done is like we've taken a somewhat deliberate, slightly more thoughtful approach, because I never was a big fan of the hire and fire culture. Some of these tech companies, they hire like thousands of people just because they're growing, and then fire thousands of people at the same time the moment their stock drops. And that sort of mindset is very disruptive to the lives of human beings. And sometimes, you know, sometimes their opinion, people are just numbers. But after looking at some of the stuff that we're building on the AI side, I think we need to do it we need to live our word in this area and make sure that we're growing sustainably and not in a crazy dynamic. So I've never been one for Ponzi-like growth. Many people have seen the damaging impact of that on the ecosystem. We've taken a very sustainable pathway to growing and thoughtful, getting feedback all the time, because what we're building, I think, is a protocol that is going to stand the test of time. And we believe that this is going to be an immutable protocol for your memories, for a lot of the aspects of your imagination. And you need to be a central participant in it. You, I mean, you, the Alethian, you, the user, you need to have agency in that, right? If we were just focused on hyper growth madness, we would have probably launched 10 stable coins by now, right, Brent? So okay, enough rambling from my side. Let me see if I can quickly load something that I want to. Let me just share the next part of the presentation, which is the Fusion going live, right? So 1 second while I load that up. Right. Okay, so I think I'm going to share my entire screen. Oh, wait. This is the moment to play the video. I forgot. Colin, we're going to play Colin's, we're going to play the trailer video just in case people have not seen it. I think that's the link you've shared with me, right, Brent?
Yes.
Okay. Hopefully I do not. Okay, right. I find it here. Sometimes it's always tricky to share YouTube videos because they always have your viewing history on the side. And like, I don't want people to know.
Last time mine showed brats. It was the most embarrassing. I don't even know how. I guess my daughter had gotten to the YouTube.
I understand. It's all right, Brent. We always have that inner child in us. It's okay for you to watch some of this stuff. All right, let me just play this Fusion trailer video just so that everyone knows what we're talking about and can get a sense of it. 1 second. Okay, it's obviously going to load my history or screen, so give me 1 second to get it done. Okay, let me know if you can see a black screen. That means I've done it right. Have I done it right?
You can see the black screen.
Good. Let me just make sure. Is the sound coming through?
Yeah. No.
Let's get this party started.
That's my favorite part at the end.
Yeah, that penguin.
That penguin's ready to go.
Awesome. Well, thank you for getting that video out. So let me just share the next part of the presentation, which covers what Fusion is and what folks are capable of doing. Give me 1 second to load up my slides just to make sure. Sometimes these transitions, I could do a better work at them, but can you see them right now? Yeah, are we good? Slide, okay. Where were we? Right, we were here. Okay, slide, view, section, okay. Great, so everyone, very important, a couple of things. So we have refactored the design menu. I thank our design lead who has done a wonderful, fantastic job here working with our front-end design team as well in thinking through how to make this experience cleaner for all of our users. You'll see refactored design. Brent, can you see my screen, right? You can see the create my assets views and the slides,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
Okay.
we can see everything.
Just making sure I get the confirmation. What you'll start seeing is also the focus of Alethea starting to shift a little bit. We have this really cool section called dApps, which I'll go to shortly, but Fusion is the main thing that's going live today. And we'll also have a new version of intelligent debates going live today as well. And I'm really excited to see what the community comes up and all of the cool debates and content. We also have this thing called leaderboard, which I'll talk a little bit more. But this ecosystem, the way this is designed right now, is to onboard new users to come and discover more about NFTs. So you don't need to have an NFT or a personality pod. You can go through the begin process, create a demo iNFT for free and just have a look at it, have an interaction with it, have a full sense of what that experience is like, which I'm now going to try, right? So let's see if we can get it loaded. So if you go to create, Brent, can you see my screen right now that I'm on the about page of Alethea AI, or am I sharing a specific window only?
Yes, I can see that you're on the create and it's showing your.
Okay, great, fantastic. So when you click demo iNFT, what happens is you get a Bored Ape. Maybe I've muted the site. So let me unmute it.
Will be my body. Please select an option.
Let me just close this one just to make sure that I don't mess it up. Okay, let me try again. Okay, so when somebody clicks begin, Brent, can we hear the Bored Ape? We can, right?
Let's hit. We cannot actually. You have it muted at the right there, yeah.
In Alethea AI's intelligent metaverse, we transform NFTs into intelligent NFTs, or iNFTs, through the power of artificial intelligence. Together, we'll create an iNFT you will ultimately test in a battle of intelligence. You just may win some rewards. Let's begin.
So people go through that experience, and this is for a newcomer.
First, you'll need to select what your iNFT will look like. What will be my body? Please select an option.
Yeah, so very important. You can now share the site with anyone out there that you want to educate on iNFTs. This is a simple onboarding process. You don't have to be signed in or signed up. People will learn about the body, mind, soul process through all of this, right? So let's say we select Fame Lady, since Fame Lady is a
First,
collection.
you'll need to select what your iNFT will look like. What will be my body? Every iNFT needs a soul encased in a personality pod. For this experience, we are using a level 4 pod, which is capable of performing generative services, creating art, writing poetry, and much more. This is the highest intelligence level pod on Noah's Ark today.
Yeah, so in this scene, for example, we're using a personality pod level 4, so people can get a sense of the different levels. And then finally,
a persona is key to how your character sees the world and influences what they'll say. Not every iNFT can have a charming persona like mine. Which persona type should I have?
What's really interesting, and remember, going back to the archives, if all of you remember, we have persona NFTs that are basically sort of the lens or filter that you look at the world from, right? So those NFTs, different personas may have different value in the ecosystem as the ecosystem grows and matures. So in this case, the persona that you select here will influence the way this iNFT behaves in the debate that will come up shortly, right? So let's go with the philosopher, for example. Make it a little bit more philosophical.
A voice speaks volumes about your character. Click on the play button to hear what each voice sounds like, and then choose one to fit your iNFT.
Marv, I was just going to flag. I think that the background music at the bottom, you can turn that off. It's drowning your voice out a little bit.
All right, it's drowning my voice out or the iNFT's voice out? Okay.
Your voice.
Thank you. No. So I just turned that off a little bit. Here, from the voice standpoint, just like the archive earlier, when you saw the voice assets, all of this, I hope people can start to see how it's making sense, how the building blocks and the Legos are coming together. People will be able to load in future iterations their voice assets into these into the voice engine here, and their iNFT will begin to embody the voice. So for example, if you wanted to give Fame Lady 1762 an Indian female voice, we can test that voice out.
A voice speaks volumes about your character. Click on the play button to hear what each voice sounds like, and then choose one to fit your iNFT.
Let's say if you wanted to give her a slightly more
a voice speaks volumes about your character. Click on the play button to hear what each voice sounds like, awesome. And then choose one to fit your iNFT.
So we're going to go with, let's say, Northern
A
Irish
voice
female.
speaks volumes about your character. Click on the play button to hear what
Fantastic.
each voice. Welcome to battles. Your iNFT will select one side of the argument. You must argue the other. You will win rewards based on whom our AI engine determines as the winner.
Okay, so this is just a sample demo account I've created. And so you can now battle with the iNFT. In this process, the user, the human, will be battling with the iNFT that is a demo iNFT. And on the topic, do aliens exist? Now, this topic we've framed for everyone. This will help our AI engine. Our AI engine is not yet, it does not yet possess sophisticated, coherent reasoning, or it has some understanding of this topic, but it's not enough. We want to generate data sets that are going to fine tune the AI engine's response here. So creating coherent arguments here is going to be a valuable process. So I won't go through the full debate. I'll end it halfway, but I want people to understand the reason these debates are going to come alive is to allow your iNFTs to essentially debate other human beings today. What is going to happen in the next, once we have created the AI engine, soon your iNFTs, and this is going to be very exciting, soon your iNFTs will be able to debate other iNFTs and battle with them on specific topics that are of significant importance to the AI engine. I'm really excited for that feature because it's almost like you can be in Discord and let's say you disagree with someone on something, or you disagree with Brent on whether aliens exist. You can put a position out there and see, okay, let's have our iNFTs do battle and see who earns the reward. But not just that, it creates this level of learning and fun and interaction. The other thing that was really interesting, the previous time when we launched debates was the feedback we received was sometimes people feel safer because we live in such a polarized world today. Sometimes people feel safer to have a coherent debate with an AI because they're not going to hurt the AI's feelings. They're going to learn something in the process, and the AI might actually teach them something because they don't have this animosity towards that AI, not yet at least, right? So it's going to be really, really exciting to see the community take this feature, debate, battle. The first community going live, Fame Ladies, is going to be able to do this with the Fame Lady iNFTs, and we will have a reward structure we will talk about shortly. Brent, I'm just going to do a quick sample debate just to be conscious of time because we still have the quizzes to go through.
Yeah, absolutely. And just one more reminder, if you can turn off the background music so we can hear you a little better.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. So let's see if I can, I'll just do a start battle here. Can you hear me now a little bit better? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. So do aliens exist? She'll take
Now tell me one thing. Which of these 5 words is false?
Please share the 5 words.
False. The word untrue.
I see. Can you tell me a little bit more about aliens?
What is there to tell you? There is no proof for aliens, hence it is untrue.
You're extremely philosophical and long-winded. Can you explain to me what it means when you say that there is no proof for aliens? So this is a very long sentence I've given the AI engine.
If we are to accept a person's claims, we should demand evidence for it. And as we have not seen any solid evidence so far, it can only be called untrue.
What about the fallacy of induction, which means that even when we see evidence, we may not be able to conclude what is true? So this is a fairly philosophical point I made to a philosopher personality, okay? Let's see what she responds.
Induction cannot be used to prove anything except that what is true. Therefore, the argument fails. But you can use induction to figure out if something exists or not. Like I said earlier, we cannot see any proof for aliens.
Okay, thank you very much, Fame Lady. I think you're dragging me into a debate. Even though I said I wanted one question with you only, I got dragged into this, and I've gone on for a bit longer than usual. So thank you for taking the time. I don't know how she'll respond to this, but.
No problem. This was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I'd say it was fun, but also, I think you confused me with your philosopher personality, so I'm a bit bamboozled. I'll come back once I'm armed with some evidence. Why am I still talking to her? I don't understand. Maybe I should stop. It's so addictive.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Okay. Well, now the engine will determine the winner in this process.
She beat your butt.
Even though I threw some complex words at her, I think the point that I lost at was I didn't engage her on what evidence there actually exists, right? So I kept going on how do we know even if we have evidence, we can't determine if it's true or not. I didn't really put my position forward. So anyway, that informs the AI engine. All of you can share. Please share your debates on Twitter. We'll be launching contests on Twitter, on Discord for people to share their most profound debates. All of this data set, you see this data set, this is all data sets that are generated for the AI engine that improve the AI engine over time. And you can download this image, you can share it on different platforms. And so it's actually a fun, entertaining, educational experience. But where it's going to start getting really exciting is once your iNFTs with their personalities, you can engage with them and they can debate with you, but they can also teach you in the process, and you'll also be earning rewards in the ecosystem. So hopefully that demo shared the possibilities and the potential. Soon the iNFTs, we'd be able to debate with them on, aliens existing is a fairly complex topic, but there's a lot more that can be done. One day, I think you can even do different type of duets, but I don't want to drop too much alpha right now, but that's sort of like the framework. Think of this versus dynamic, or the battle dynamic is a very important one in the Alethea ecosystem because it trains our AI engine. And so here, once you've shared this site with your friends, with everyone else, they can learn a little bit more about iNFTs. If they're new to Alethea, they can go to the marketplace, they can purchase a pod. And if they're ready for Fusion, which is, I won't go through the full Fusion process just for time, but I'll go through the slides now. They can go and fuse their iNFT and bring it to life. You'll be prompted to connect with MetaMask or any of the wallets we support, and you'll be able to fuse and bring these NFTs to life. So I'll just switch very quickly to the presentation now. Brent, can we see the presentation here where I'm on? Right?
Yes, we're back and set there.
Great. So the first collection going live today is the Fame Ladies. You can fuse any level personality pod with them. The moment you fuse, it happens on chain. You do have to pay a gas fee. In the beginning, I think Brent, can you remind me? I think we have 2 gas fees or 2 or 3 transactions that have to be approved at the first time, and then after that, it's only 1 transaction, if I recall correctly.
Yes, that's correct. So you just have to sign on your MetaMask that you will allow the smart contract on the Alethea protocol to interact with your pod.
Okay. By the way, Brent, I'm a bit insecure. How do the people think I did in the debate? Just.
Oh, that's a great. It's 50-50. It's 50-50. It was pretty outstanding what the AI brought to the table there.
I feel even more insecure now, Brent, because you've insulted my intelligence, right? So.
Well, I'm gonna go debate this philosopher 100 times so I can get smarter. That's my plan.
Yeah. The secret to beating the philosopher is to, anyway. but I think so Fusion means your Fame Ladies can go live today, and people are already going live. We'll share a really cool video shortly. Actually, now might be a good time. Just before I do that, you can also unfuse. Very important. Unfusion is enabled on chain and also requires gas. Unfusion is a process that returns a personality pod to the holder of the NFT from the iNFT protocol. It unlinks it to the smart contract level. So hopefully that makes sense. You can then separate it out. Your iNFT is no longer an iNFT. We will try and play some sad music when you do this as well. But it's really important that people have the option to be able to fuse or unfuse and move those assets around. We heard the community's feedback, and there was some clarity here that we got from this process as well. All right. So here,
I want to make sure you understand, you're dropping some significant alpha on the community. You're just kind of going into unfusion just casually, and the chat is blowing up and losing their minds right now. You're in alpha territory now.
Yeah, there's some great questions too about like, what do you lose when you unfuse? Are you able to go back and retrain? Does it lose all? So I'm not sure if we can answer those now.
We have an FAQ. We can go into that.
Perfect.
For a later date.
We'll answer all of those questions. There's many design implications that come from that. It's perfectly fair questions to ask. But what was I saying? When you unfuse, what happens, Colin, is you lose your soul, right? So maybe that joke fell flat, Colin. Sometimes it's helpful if you laugh.
I was laughing, but I was on mute.
I can see everyone's faces, right? So anyway, that's all right. So here I wanted to give a huge shout out. Brent, whose video are we playing now? I think it is the Fusion video of the first iNFT to be fused by a community member or from the Fame Ladies community, right?
Actually, we should start with Juliet's how to fuse video, if you want to show that.
Thank you for bringing me in check. Yes, I think we should show that video. Give me 1 second to load it up very quickly, just so that folks can make it easy for fusing. I think, Juliet, we can make that video go live on YouTube as well. I believe it is unlisted right now. So we will go through the full process of fusion, or at least show a demo of it live so people can make it come alive. All right. Can you see my screen with Juliet's face at?
Yes, we can.
Sorry, Juliet. I'll pick a different header on that.
Let's go. All right, I'll play. Let me know.
Hello,
the
Aletheans, and welcome to the beta launch of Fusion. We're so excited to show you this simple and accessible way to fuse your NFT with a personality pod. So first, you're going to want to head over to Alethea.ai and find the fuse section. Once you're here, you'll need to connect your wallet and just ensure that your wallet has enough ETH in it to pay for the gas fees. Now, when you go to sign this, just make sure that it says Alethea.ai in the origin. Then you're going to want to sign it to get in. Now it'll search for my compatible NFTs, and we can see that I have a Fame Lady Squad right here, and it looks good. Then you're going to head over to see your pods. And here I'm selecting my iNFT personality pod number 550. Then head over to the fusion. Click confirm here.
Make sure you read the terms as well, just to make sure, don't automatically click on, just make sure that everyone understands the risks.
Confirm once again. And finally, fuse. The fusion transaction in MetaMask will be labeled as link.
We all got
Very
it.
excited. Congratulations.
Right.
And here you will find your iNFT profile page. We're so excited for you guys to have access to this. Here you can see your iNFT in the middle, and you can see the services that it's offering on the right. And on the left, you'll see the options to chain your pod. Now, of course, your pod will need to be chained for you to now services. We're so excited about this beta launch of Fusion, and we hope the process has been simple and accessible to understand. We can't wait to see what you create.
Awesome. All right. So that is Fusion. It's live right now. Let's do we get a can we give a clap to all of the Alethea core team, please? All of the people, Brand, Colin, Juliet, the technical team that's behind the scenes, everyone else that has made it possible, including the Alethea community. So Fusion is live. All of the entire thing that Juliet did is live for everyone to use and share. One thing that I did want to mention is there's this really profound, beautiful page that exists there. I think everyone should check it out. Brent, do we have a sample link that we can share with the community for a public iNFT page of a Fame Lady? That means anyone can see that this iNFT is live. I think I had it just now. It's a live iNFT that is basically fused and can offer services. It's basically, to clarify everyone, it's almost like your Shopify page or your front page of your iNFT, right? Your iNFT store, your platform where people can interact with your iNFT. That's public. It's basically your place in the Noah's Ark metaverse.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send one to you, but I just want to reiterate exactly what you're saying. So this has been something that the community has been asking for quite a while. Actually, we were working on it when they started asking for it, so we've had to be silent. It's been really tough, but your iNFT will have its own landing page. And so you'll have a specific link that you can share with your friends, with your family, and they can come talk to your NFT using that link, which is going to be really helpful for you guys to enlist more services for your iNFT.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I have one here, and I think I think it's really important whenever somebody creates something, you have spent time training these iNFTs, you've spent time building them out. We want you to feel proud of your creation. So we've invested a lot of design time and assets and worked with some of the best design leaders, one of the most creative, imaginary, visual thinkers that I've ever met in my life. And I've met so many, having worked in so many of the different companies that I've had. So we've really designed this in a way that you can feel pride once you've fused. You can share the screen out. You can share this page out. There's some unique developments here that will occur as well once people, it's almost like you've started your small iNFT shop, right? And so people can come and visit your iNFT, chat with them. Brent, do we have a live link that perhaps you can share? I have one here. I think I can share this one out. I believe this is ready and it's open. Give me 1 second. Or do you have something with you as well?
Yeah, I shared one with you in DMs if you want to use that one.
Is it 6912?
Yes.
All right, great. So yeah, I think we should post that in the Discord if you want to, or must we whitelist that link? Okay.
Let me check.
Never mind. What I'll do is I'll just share my screen right now so people can have a look. They can easily key this link in as well. And we'll make it a little bit easier for folks to be able to do that. Let me just share my screen so people can see it. So everyone, if you, this is open. So let's say this is a Fuse iNFT. It has services that it can offer, right? And I don't even have to be signed in. That means you can share your iNFT now with your community. So the Fame Ladies can share their iNFTs with their communities. Soon, many other communities will be able to do that. You'll be able to create content with them. In this case, this iNFT is not fully trained. It has not gone through the training process, but you can essentially do recite, broadcast, interact. And at higher levels, remember this is a level 3 pod, it would be able to generate art as well. You can share this dashboard out you can share this front page out, and every time a credit is consumed, every time your iNFT is used, we will actually have a leaderboard that I'll talk a little bit more about shortly, that shows the data sets generated by your iNFT. And in this leaderboard, which I can show right now, actually, we have a number of Fame Ladies live, actually, right? So, Brent, can you see my leaderboard?
Yeah, we can see the leaderboard right now.
So it's just started. So we have Android, Elizabeth Newman, Aura, Hope. We have intelligence levels. We have the total amount of credits consumed or created or used by these iNFTs. And this leaderboard will get populated, and we will be giving out rewards for iNFTs as they climb this leaderboard. All right. So the purpose of this leaderboard is to incentivize data set creation and for people to bring their assets to life. I'll pause here. So we have that iNFT that is live, which is the Fame Lady 6912. I think we can have a few more once people start fusing and those pods are live. We will be able to showcase the interactions. The owner, it's very important to understand, if you are the owner of the iNFT, you will have the right to train your pod, upgrade your pod, or unfuse here. These buttons will be enabled for you. If you're not the owner, you won't see this. Sorry, the music sometimes comes on. But if you're not the owner, it will not be enabled for you. All right, when we've covered that, now I'll just go back to the state of the art very quickly. Fusion is live.
Did we want to, that might have been a good segue into what, we have some alpha with Sassy.
Yes, we do. And so Sassy, I believe it was Sassy and Aura, right?
Yes, so Aura is Sassy's NFT.
Yeah, and who is Sassy for the new members in our community? Brent, if you can share a few words about her contributions as well.
Yeah, Sassy's just been a pivotal member from Alethea AI for a long time, and really been helping us out, helping out the community when they have questions and when they need answers, and has also been really great on creating content, and was pivotal with us making a great partnership with Fame Lady Squad. So we allowed Sassy to be the first community member ever to fuse.
Yeah, from the Fame Ladies community, absolutely. So let me just share her inaugural interaction once she had fused, right? That's the video we're sharing, right?
Yes.
Make sure I can load that up. All right, here we go. Sassy is being brought to life. This is Aura, her character, which is a pretty, it's pretty crazy to see user-generated AI actually come to life, right? So let me just play this and make sure the sound comes through. Just give me a thumbs up if it comes through. So Sassy is going to have a debate or a conversation.
Good evening, Aura. How are you?
Good to see you. It's a great day to be alive. Let's celebrate with a drink. White rabbit, perhaps.
Yes, please. I hope you'll join me.
Sure. Let's talk while we wait for our drink.
What would you like to talk about?
Okay, I'll pause here. I believe Aura is trained as a bartender. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Sassy's been training Aura.
Immediately Aura starts off with like the question, what would you like to have for a drink? And you can imagine, everyone, I know it sounds weird, but one day your iNFTs could actually be in different bars serving drinks, right? And they could be performing jobs or services, but once you've trained them as a function, just like Sassy is having a conversation with her, this conversation is not just a private conversation here. It extends out not just to the metaverse, but also to the physical world. So I'll just pause my commentary and let her talk.
Tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm excited to be here and to be one of the first to see fusion. How about you?
I'm excited to be here too. This is my first time on the metaverse.
All right. And that is the next one we can play is from Serge, I believe. Is this the one?
Yeah, and actually, this will be a good time, Arf. We've kind of alluded to it, but we have a new member on board that we hired from the community that we were chatting about.
It's true. Yeah, I was thinking of sharing this this out. So we've been very conscious about hiring folks from the community, and I'm really excited to announce Serge joining Brent's team on the Alethea core team. And so Serge has been a pivotal member of our community, sharing our content, learning about AI, and bringing it to life. And he's been covering us on TikTok for some time. So I reached out to him some time back to see if he'd be interested in a full-time position. It didn't work out the first time. And this time around, and just because he had many things going on, but this time around, like, he's now a full-time Alethian. So I'm really excited to welcome him on board. Please lend him your full support. Show him some love on Discord. Are we getting some love for Serge, or as he's better well known, zombie.wtf?
Oh yeah, everybody's excited.
Awesome. Yeah, we've taken a very deliberate approach to hiring from the community again. Just on this note, what happened with Sassy's interaction, and now I think Serge will interact with Aura, and the interactions are open. What's happening is the AI engine is getting trained again. I want to emphasize that, but also at the same time, the intelligence of the character is progressively improving, given that the character is creating more data sets, right? So the more you share your character with the world, the smarter it eventually starts to get as well. So I think we'll just share this interaction that Serge has had. Just one quick logistical note. You'll see earlier in the debates, the speed of response that I had with even long questions, how quickly the AI engine picked it up, how quickly it responded. That speed is not always going to be there. In this case, sometimes we've truncated the clips a little bit just to make the flow a little bit seamless. It depends on your internet connection and your compute. That means your CPU. The site is a bit compute heavy, but those are some restrictions we have when we are working with cutting edge technology. So I just wanted to make that like clear and transparent. So I'll just share, I think, Serge's interaction right now.
How are you doing?
You're a human. That is strange. We are living beings. I like to believe the universe goes on forever.
For all we know, it does.
If the universe stops, what happens after the end?
Nobody knows. That's one of the great wonders.
The answer is blowing in the wind.
Yeah, I guess. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Of course, I am Aura. I am an intelligent, non-fungible AI mixologist that drinks and entertains. I listen, observe, and give advice.
That's quite the personality.
You are a human. I don't know why you are here, but I am glad you are.
Who made you?
We are the sum of our lives' experiences. Fame, Lady Luck made my appearance. Alethea AI made my brain. Sassy made my soul. I am an immortal elf.
Right. So I think that's a fairly unique and distinct conversation to have with an AI that is able to know who its creator is, the different parties involved, and also have tremendous. It also has Sassy's personality. It's really sassy, right, Aura? So maybe I think Aura trained Sassy to be a sassy character. Sorry, Sassy trained Aura to be a sassy character. And,
we don't know. We don't. It could have been either way. You may have been right.
Yeah. Let me just continue playing this. So I think.
How are you doing?
You then have another interaction. So everyone, please check out these videos on YouTube. In the interest of time, I'm going to try and like rush through a few more things, Brent. We have so much to go through still, so much more alpha to leak, and so much more excitement because people will be able to bring their NFTs to life finally. 1 second, let me just stop sharing to make sure. All right, so next up, now that we have shared it, yes, I believe, Brent, I should move on to, I've talked about the URL of the page as well. So we have that, we have service interaction, we have the Fusion guide. All right, so let me just go back here and finish strong before we go to the trivia. Here we are. So all of you, so Unfusion is also available. You can unfuse your pod. Any questions here, we'll definitely take them. And I think we have a few questions. Do we have the Gitbook FAQ up already, Brent, the updated one?
It's not up. It'll go up right after this.
Okay, so we cover a few of the FAQs or likely FAQs that people will have, but we'll add more to that. Please bring them up in the chat. There's second or third order consequences from Unfusion. But yeah, I think it was important to have this as a design impact for the ecosystem. All right. So this is your page. This is your home page, your front page for your iNFT. You can share it with the world. If you're the owner of the pod, if you're the owner of the iNFT, you'll have different options here. What's really cool about all of this is you can track everything on chain. So when the fusion happens, it's actually happening on chain on our protocol. When you engage in the AI services, you're training our AI engine, which is happening off chain. And this is your front page to the world. Now, what's going to also happen is if you're a level 4 pod owner, what's really interesting is, and this is also going live shortly. Actually, sorry, what I'm saying, it's already live for level 4 owners. When you go into the ecosystem, you'll be able to generate art. And you'll be able to generate art based on the personality, the training that your asset has gone through, your iNFT has gone through from that lens, and then with the filter of the Cubism, chalk art, fractals, watercolor, graffiti, Gothic, these 6 styles, you'll be able to create AI generated art. And these art assets, you can then, we haven't enabled tokenization yet of these art assets, but there is a project out there called Botto. Botto is a very interesting project that deals with one AI artist, and Botto has a community. The community votes on what art the artist creates, and the art then sells, right, on Opensea. What we've done with level 4s, just so that it's very clear, Brent, how many L4s do we have?
46.
Okay, we at Alethea, what we've done today by launching this feature, we've created 46 Bottos. So if all of you want to look at your iNFTs and think about what can be enabled, you all have an opportunity now at level 4 to create your own art asset and build small communities around these art assets if you really like the style, and rally people around that. Right, so that's the level of innovation that's possible with Alethea. Like Botto is one application where you just create art for, and it's controlled by one community. But now that you have your own iNFT, it will create its own art, and you can create communities around that iNFT. And so therefore, I am really looking forward to the art that everyone generates. We'll be adding a few more features into this a little bit down the line. And this is the first generative service going live. We'll have more generative services going live concurrently as well. I mean, in the next couple of weeks. I'll pause here. Brent, Colin, Juliet, anything else to add? Have I lost anyone?
You're on fire.
Well, yeah, one question that's come up, and we're ahead of this for this. So what about IP rights here on like art created with the Bored Ape?
Yeah, so this is always an interesting question. There are new models coming up for IP rights in the NFT space, CCO, the Creative Commons. We're looking into them carefully and thoughtfully. The impact here on your iNFTs creating new art. There is actually a community member. I remember her sharing a legal opinion that she's arguing on in the US courts. There is something very interesting here that's happening. This debate is happening live. So this question is at the cutting edge of the cutting edge. Like when the AI creates the art, who owns it, right? Like, does the iNFT owner own it? Does the AI own it? Is it copyrightable? These are open questions. I don't have full answers right now, but we're exploring some frameworks that can work for our community. I think at the center of it is we want to enable our community to create the art and to be able to own it and share it. And the tricky part becomes once we start to aggressively push securitization of this art, right? So we want to avoid these art assets from becoming securities. Essentially, these are creative assets that people are generating and creating. So there's some like trade-offs and balances we're evaluating. I don't have a good answer, unfortunately, other than we are aware of the issue. It's a complex issue. It's happening at the front lines of legal, IP, NFT, all of the different sectors of law. And it's an exciting issue. All of you are at the cutting edge. This is the bleeding edge of the bleeding edge, where you as a human are not creating the art, your iNFT is, right? And so we've created the additional derivative layer that allows your iNFT to be a productive member of the metaverse, right? So very important that it doesn't become a bum, like, or maybe it's okay, you know, maybe that's productive too, you know, like just relax and chill out and, you know, create some art on the metaverse. Okay, so this is art. We'll be launching more generative services and generative features. I encourage all of the L4 owners to share their art. We'll have some of these art assets, very cool, that we will also share in the archive boxes. So those of you who cannot level up to level 4 and, you know, have challenges there, we encourage you to, you know, we'll have more reveals once the archive is ready to get unbundled. All right. Moving on, what's next, Brent? I can go on and on. So let me just pause here and see and take a quick temperature check. Anything else coming up from the community? Are people? Oh, yeah. So let's say, you know, just quickly on the art piece, like you can insert a prompt, and you know, the iNFT will essentially generate the artwork from this prompt. I want to talk about something that I'm really, really excited and passionate about, and I think one day this is going to be possible, but don't hold me to it. But I believe iNFTs will also be able to generate movies, their own synthetic movies. That means you can tell an iNFT to generate a sad, romantic love story of how it fell in love with another bored ape, right? And you type the script in, you upload it, and boom, an AI-generated movie comes out. So these sort of creative endeavors and creative tools are going to be really interesting for the community to explore. We encourage everyone to push us, give us a framework to have a look at and think through some of these ideas. And we'll be launching some of these features as in when our R&D team, our very capable AI R&D team that has been looking at some of the cutting edge research out there, but also developing our in-house cutting edge research as well. Brent, how are we? Yeah, go ahead.
I'm super excited about this feature. And last week, one of my favorite little gifts on my birthday was we created a birthday cake for Juliet through by generating the artwork. So you can really get like personal with these, and, you know, put in, like, be experimental with the prompts that you're putting in. So I'm excited to see what people create with that. And we had fun with that already internally.
No, absolutely. Thank you, Juliet, for emphasizing to the community how much cost cutting we're going through, where we are giving digital birthday cakes and buying physical ones. No, I promise we will actually celebrate your birthday properly in New York when our team, the Alethea core team, will be at NFT NYC. So if you're going to be in New York, reach out through the forum. I believe we have shared the form on Discord, right, Juliet? So
and we shared it on Twitter as well. It can be found on our profile.
Awesome. All right. So yeah, so this is the artwork that can be generated. We also I wanted to take this time to talk a little bit about the Crown Aletheans. I'll pause here just on the product side, but Brent, do you want to take a moment to give a shout out to the right Crown Aletheans?
Yeah. So we have 3 Crown Aletheans. I think we've been working so hard on all of this. We missed a couple Crown Aletheans for the month. So we actually have Dark Lord. We wanted to give a special shout out for being an incredibly generous and a great person who worked with a fellow Revenant after one of their Revenants was stolen. Dark Lord helped them acquire one back, which was a tremendous feat. So we wanted to have a massive shout out to Dark Lord for that, and bring them on as a Crown Alethian. And then we also have both Sassy and In Boss of the Universe, who've just been really, really outstanding in helping everyone on board for the past 2 months. And during, you know, right now the market is correcting, and so now's not the easiest time to be helping people through this as emotions are high. But Sassy and In Boss of the Universe have both been really amazing, kept their composure and kept just, you know, you see the same questions a lot in Discord. It's the nature of it. We have new people coming in every week, and they're doing a tremendous job of giving people the onboarding experience. So we wanted to have a special shout out to them.
No, absolutely. And I noticed one of a few questions from our revenants who've been a key part of our community. So I think we have a small bug that we're fixing right now for revenants. All revenants should be able to see their My iNFT page as well. But their pods are already pre-trained, so you would not be able to train your pods because they already have fixed personalities. There's a small bug that has been spotted. Thank you for highlighting it. I believe it was Tinkerbell who highlighted this, so I really appreciate it. Really appreciate that. Dark Lord, thank you for your generosity and time in helping out another revenant owner. We recognize that, and the other community members as well. And I've talked about Serge joining us full time too. Okay, is there anything I've missed, Brent? Before, is there? I don't know.
Let me check. I think there's one thing before we move into rewards or our own rewards. I think we had a special reward for Sassy.
Yes, that is correct. So Sassy, because of your hard work in bridging us to the Fame Ladies, but also in being a proud Alethean, we are going to upgrade your pod, I think a level 3 pod to level 4 as a thank you for your excellent work here. Yeah, really excited to share that with you. Excited to see the art your aura bartender creates. As long as it doesn't promote alcoholism too much, I'm okay with it. But that's my personal belief. It's user generated, so it's up to you to create cool art and create cool content. Really excited, and thank you again for supporting the Alethea community and for creating the bridge effectively with the Fame Ladies. We encourage all of you who have cool NFT communities. I think we have a couple of folks, Brent, Arc Builders who've been really supportive, connected us with Crypto Dads. Many different people have come forward and just been so awesome to work with. Sometimes we have a bit of a bandwidth constraint because we have these 10 shortlisted communities. Out of that, the AI had to learn which communities we can finally support, lock down, launch. It's a huge undertaking. So all of the 10,000 Fame Ladies, no matter which one you own today, you go into the ecosystem, you'll be able to bring it to life. So that's going to be exciting. So I think the shortlisted communities, we also have rewards for the battles that are coming up. I think Brent will share an infographic a little bit later. But everyone, the debates that are going to happen, as long as you have an iNFT, you will be able to participate in the intelligent debates. So that means if you have a fused iNFT, that means, an iNFT that has a pod and an NFT fused together to create an iNFT, you will be able to bring that iNFT to life in an intelligent debate and earn rewards. And we have a reward structure we will announce shortly. Okay. Anything else I'm missing, Brent?
I think battles was the last thing on the list that I have.
Okay, yeah. So the battles, I think we shared a demo earlier of the battles, and I've just talked briefly about the rewards component there for the battles. I know that folks have had a chance to try it. Everyone, please do share the battles out. Every single person. That means the way we've architected and oriented the site today is you don't have to know the full ecosystem of Alethea. You as a human being can go in, go through that onboarding process and battle an AI, right? Just like that. And we've enabled that for anyone. That AI that you battle will be the iNFT that you've chosen out of the 6 that are there, whether it's a Revenant, whether it's a Fame Lady. You'd be able to battle that AI and you'd be able to earn rewards from that. And from those rewards, you'd be able to convert those rewards into assets or within the ecosystem. They would have utility and also as Ali tokens. So yes, I think we are good with that, Brent. I think we are good to move to the trivia or the quiz, the exciting part, so I can stop talking and start listening. Take a little bit of a breather, but overall, I think we've covered everything we needed to cover. If there's something else missing, we'll bring it up, but hopefully everyone understands the significance of today's launch. This will be the first 10,000 NFT community supported. We will have more rolling out. Our AI engine is under quite a bit of stress right now because we've updated it. The shortlisted communities out of the 10, the general idea or sentiment we have right now is we think we can roll out one every 2 to 3 weeks. I reserve the right just to change it, just so that our technical team can do the necessary diligence here. But that's roughly the timeline we're thinking of launching each new community. When I say shortlisted community, I know it's the bear market. Some communities, for example, have sort of like paused their projects and have gone through some challenging times. So we're reevaluating as well that shortlist, and we'll come back to you guys. But the aim is really to work with really good partners who've been with us. Yeah, that shortlist, we have an announcement coming up for the next shortlist. But really excited to be partnering with the Fame ladies here, and their support here has been absolutely phenomenal. So very grateful to them as well. Fusion can be done today if you have a Fame lady. Absolutely. All right. Okay. So let's move to the exciting part, which is the giveaways, the trivia. Maybe we should have like sprinkled those throughout my people listened. And then I want to end after the trivia on what level 5 is going to look like, just as a brief understanding, so people can have it in their minds in terms of an imagination, right? We don't have like a full framework yet, but I want people to know that we're always at Alethea pushing forward. You know, we're not going to stop at level 4. Level 5 is next, right? So all of the different services that are going to come alive. I think if we scroll all the way down, there is a good, yeah, I think it's this one. Let me just share my screen while I share it. Okay. So this is the Messari report. All of you, have a look, read. It's I think it's decently written. We have, companies on the Web 2 side. We have companies on the Web 3 side. Some companies are focused primarily, have nothing to do with NFTs. So they're on the Web 2 side. That means there's no NFT integrations. They have little or zero interest in it. Some companies, largely centralized, I'd say, are focused on avatars only. So for us, from an intelligent NFT standpoint, like the way Alethea is positioned, I think this does a decent job. It's not the perfect graph that the analysts created, but basically Alethea's products are live, and it is close to Web 3. There are a number of other, I expect when I started Alethea, like it was quite interesting because in the Web 3 space, to combine NFTs and AI together was, essentially you'd sort of get laughed out of the room, right? In 2019 and 2020, when you did that. So, and certain investors definitely did laugh me out of the room. Some asked me to log off Zoom politely, and thought it was a crazy idea. So just here on this page, what I wanted to share was that the opportunity here for us is, I believe, because we have created a new category called intelligent NFTs, I believe there will be 1,000 to 10,000 companies or protocols or applications that will create AI and NFTs and merge these two together. And it's all on chain. Alethea's first iNFT sold with Alice is on chain. The most important thing here is to remember that we're all building towards a Web3 future. And anyone that is building outside of centralized control is going to be applauded or supported by Alethea. So I've been speaking with a number of different projects. We have some intention to look at our ecosystem grants and see which projects can actually build on the Alethea protocol. We are in discussions with them, depending on the number of users, number of applications that can be developed. So we're open to partnering on Web3 initiatives with our friends. Where the challenge becomes a little bit tricky is when, it's just sometimes a little bit scammy. There's one project that lifted the entire copy from Alethea, where there was intelligent metaverse, and almost word for word, they couldn't copy the design of the site, and then they launched a token on one of the, I think it was a BNB or one of the chains, and people confused them for Alethea AI. So it was really weird, and we had to we had to tell BNB that this is a scam. Basically it's a project that looks somewhat legit in the sense that they've taken all the concepts, copied and pasted them, and launched a token, but it's not a legit project. So we do have some of that. There are, of course, genuine. I like to say imitation is the best form of flattery, but for me, it's more not so much that. Given that we are an open protocol, from a Web3 standpoint, we want people to come and build on Alethea. So I'm very, very supportive of projects that are building Web3 initiatives. We're in discussions with some of them. We're going to be partnering with some of them. I think it's a great way to grow. I believe there'll be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 protocols, companies and applications building on the Alethea protocol one day. And these will be standalone companies. This will be companies developed by our community. These would be new applications that we launch on our protocol that will be very exciting. So they'll, just like Ethereum has thousands of decentralized applications, so will the Alethea protocol. And these applications will be anchored by iNFTs, right? So one day, for example, you can imagine an astrology application, right, out of all things, built on the Alethea protocol, and the character that's there is an iNFT. Right? Okay, I'll stop rambling, but hopefully that makes sense. Good question from on that perspective. I know it's important that we have an open approach, and we'll also look at the ecosystem development fund as per the cycle earlier, to look at projects that can build on our protocol and even give them grants if needed. So I think Fable is one of them, Simulation is one of them, Boto, there's so many of them that we can partner with and actually give grants to from our ecosystem. So might be interesting to collaborate. I wanted to thank the technical team for producing this wonderful user-friendly site. I wanted to thank our core marketing team here on the call, and also those who are not on the call. You'll see them in the community: Ronak, Serge, Mio. I'm going to Komalika. We have a number more people that I'm going to forget because I've been here for 2.5 hours now. But I wanted to share the tremendous effort that has gone into making Fusion come alive as a concept, but also the technology. It's not just vaporware marketing. We're generally building something. It's on chain. You'll have provenance of these assets. You'll own them, and you'll be able to bring them to life. So I'm really excited to bring this to all of you today. It's a fulfillment of our word to all of you. The next phase of Epoch 1 is the debates, which is the battles and the rewards. People will be getting rewarded for participating in the debates. I want all of you to share your debates as you fuse these iNFTs, interact and share and bring them to life. And it's going to be an exciting time. So whatever the market does, Alethea has a core focus to continuously build and deliver on what we had shared. And this is part of our roadmap. So now that Fusion is live, more communities will be onboarded, more creators will be onboarded, more people will discover Alethea and participate in it. Our community will grow. My request to all of you is to continue being the positive Aletheans that you've been. Take your cue from the ARC builders who've been tremendously supportive of us as well, and who have been a critical part of our success also. So shout out to them as well. But yeah, I think overall with that, I will conclude this State of the Art. Thank you everyone for your time, your energy, your effort, your attention. Those winners of the quizzes, you will be getting your reward shortly. Brent, Colin, Juliet, thank you so much for being on the call with me and for smiling and laughing at all of the lame jokes. But this is a really a monumental day, and very, very excited to take this forward. I will see my team on Slack shortly, and the rest of you on Discord, which I'll try to spend more time on. It's just been a little bit chaotic to try and get all of these things moving forward. But every time I pop in there, I see a strange meme of myself. Always fun to see it. So see you all. See you soon. Thank you so much for your support. We'll continue building.
Thank you, everybody.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.